Welcome back to Dukascopy TV. I'm Elaine Stenson. I'm joined in the studio now by Jean-François Owczarczak, our regular guest, who's director with MJT, and they are the editor of fingraphs.com. Jean-François, you're very welcome.
Hi Elaine, thanks for having me back.
No problem. So we've got our new layout today.
Yeah, we've slightly changed it. We thought it was too much information, so we basically put a few tabs here. So we have markets in 3D in the introduction here. Then if you click here, you have an introductory video which explains what Fingraphs is about and the basics of its utilization.
Okay.
And then we have a bit on market mosaics here.
Great. So are we going to start with equity markets today? And I hear they're reaching a new high.
Yes, they are. I mean, it's a bit of a risks on again since last week, and we can see gold shooting up, we can see euro dollar making a rally, and we can see equity markets really moving quite rapidly to the upside.
Okay.
So we're going to go in our Dukas directory, probably going to have a look at the dailies, and then focus on each one of them quite quickly. So as you see, euro dollar, and this is a daily chart, so it's basically it gives you a perspective over the next few months. And so the euro dollar is still heading up. You can see that we're close to an exhaustion zone, but we're not quite there yet. Similarly on dollar yen, no, on cable, sorry. Australian dollar is still trying to make a comeback, but hasn't succeeded in it yet. Gold is seeing quite an interesting counter-trend rally, so we'll focus on that. We'll have a quick focus on Treasury bond futures and on the 3-month Treasury future, which was in a consolidation, and we'll see that the hourlies have shot back quite rapidly.
Okay.
So let's start with equities. Let's see, so we're showing here an investor's view. Basically, an investor's view is a combination of 3 charts. A weekly chart, a daily chart, and an hourly chart. And FinGraph is really meant to give you a very rapid view of how these trends interplay. So basically, you can see the long-term trend is still in a bullish trend. It has done its upward potential, so it's quite expensive, but it's not quite finished yet. The daily is in what we call a consolidation mode. It's in a bear, but it's only a consolidation for now, so it doesn't really cast doubt over the longer-term trend. And within that consolidation, you have an acceleration up of the hourly. So basically, following a consolidation period, the short-term trend, minor, is back in a potential uptrend bull. And from what I've seen, a few markets are already reaching new highs. We're not very far from it here on the S&P future, and the targets could lead us up towards the 1870, 1880 level over the next 10 days to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now, quickly focus, back on the mosaics, probably easier. Back on the mosaic, euro dollar. Euro dollar has seen a nice rally, and basically what is happening with all these risk assets is that the tapering expectations are moderate. I mean, there's no sense in the market that this is going to be an aggressive a reduction of a liquidity injection phase. And so. This has, without any really catastrophic economic news, that has fueled quite a new rally in most risk assets. So as you see, euro dollar on the weekly is still in an uptrend with quite a lot of potential. Well, we're still in initial stages, so I'm a bit uneasy to confirm that much potential at the moment, but it's still in an uptrend. The daily is still in an uptrend, reaching into probably a strong a resistance zone, but we could still make it up without hitting against it above 138.
Okay.
And then the hourlies, well, the hourlies have made it above their corrective targets. They're now impulsive, and you can see here that we could lead up to the 138 level too.
Okay. And looking ahead, on Wednesday, we're going to see the minutes from the Fed meetings, and we'll be able to see what kind of commitment they have to tapering.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's basically it. I mean, if people don't see an aggressive move on tapering, and if it moves gradually as it is planned for now, you should see this rally on risk assets continue. And as you see, the hourlies still have some potential.
Okay.
And what is interesting is that in this environment where Also, again, we don't expect a huge aggressive move to the upside on interest rates. Gold is having quite a comeback. So let's have a look at it and focus on its investors view. So as we were most of the last year, still a negative over the long term. You could see a bit of exaggeration here. Maybe I want to zoom on it. The risk index is well in the oversold. Now we like to synchronize that with the two envelopes touching each other, which is not the phase, so not the case yet. So we still labeling this as only an intermediate correction. And so that, coming back to the daily, this intermediate correction is underway. It's moving up, and without triggering anything more wide-standing, or without really bucking the long-term trend, we could still make it up almost to the 1400 in this corrective zone here. Now, if we were to move above it, then we'd really have to ask us the question, is the long-term trend on gold shifting to a bull? But at the moment, it's like it's pretty standard correction, and it could make it up to the 1400 level. And on the hourlies, well, it seems to continue. There's still some potential here, at least till 1364. And it seems that there's a bit more time in front of it. A bit of exaggeration here, but it just looks more like an intermediate top than the end of a move.
Okay. And without any other accidents on the economic data, risk on attitude should continue?
It seems like, I mean, all our hourlies, and maybe let's quickly put the hourly mosaic here. Just working through the 8 charts on it. There we go. Well, you can see hourly, euro still has some potential, sterling still has some potential, Australian dollar in a correction up, still some potential, and gold still has some potential in the equity markets also. So yeah, there's probably another week, 10 days to go.
Jean-François, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we have time for now, but do check back later for further updates and interviews from the TV team. Bye for now.